Cashin in with Carville for week 9, November the 4th here in 2021. And James Carville is here with us. It's an interesting week, James. We had a lot of injuries in the NFL, a lot of upsets in college football, and the season really kind of starting to take shape here.
Well, it's November. We started out, we had a good September, we had a bad October. So just in the zig and zag of sports betting, I think we're getting ready to be hot here. So right. Let's look at where we are here. Wake Forest is undefeated, right?
That's right. We have
my friend Al Hunt's, he went to the game last week. They've never had top 10 team, and they're going to play North Carolina. North Carolina's actually a favorite, 2.5. That tells you to take North Carolina.
We're taking the Tar Heels.
We're taking the Tar Heels.
When I started this, I did not think Wake Forest would be one of the games of the week I'd be picking, but here we are again, the surprises of college football.
There's hope for Tulane.
All right. Yeah, there's still hope. Next up in the Big Ten, in West Lafayette, Indiana, Purdue, another team we might not have been expecting to pick. They're only a 3-point dog against undefeated Michigan State coming into town.
You know what they called them when I was your age? The spoiler makers.
Ooh.
Take the spoiler makers.
I like that. I've never heard that before.
No, they would beat Notre Dame every now and then.
Yeah, I've heard the "you'll be working for us one day" chant, but never the spoiler makers. So
yeah, that's one of the great nicknames in college sport, the boiler makers.
That's fantastic. So we're taking the Boilers. All right, and in the SEC now for our last game of the day, Auburn at Texas A&M. It's the Aggies by 4.5. A couple teams probably. The loser's out, the winner's still in the race.
The home team is going to be still in the race.
All right.
More than 4.5.
More than 4.5. And real quick, just to touch James on LSU at Alabama. I mean, I guess if there's a will, there's a way, but it's going to be tough.
28.5. My daughter's getting married on Saturday, but she's getting married at 3:30, so at Eastern time. So, I'm sure if the game is tight, we'll gather around the TV. If it goes as the odds maker think it goes, we won't have much to look forward to. But, the guys they got a lot of pride, and we got some good athletes, and one hopes.
Well, congratulations to at least for another couple of days, Miss Carville. And
we're very excited.
We'll see if that LSU Alabama game is worth turning on at the reception or not.
Grad student at LSU.
All right. So it's
creative writing.
If she had to pick a Saturday in the fall, this was probably the one to pick.
A lot of guests were thanking me.
All right, moving on to the NFL. You faded the Bengals a couple of weeks ago against the Ravens, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase burned you bad. So they are 2.5-point favorites at home in another division matchup, this time against Cleveland.
I hope they win by 1.
That means you're taking the Browns, I take it.
Your deduction.
All right. Taking the Browns, but we're hoping for a Bengals win by 1 or 2. And then we get into the injuries here on these other picks. The Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites against the Packers. This line has been all over the place, but it moved up big to Kansas City when Aaron Rodgers is out on the COVID list. He will not play. He's unvaccinated, won't be able to play no matter what happens with negative tests. So the Chiefs now big favorites by more than a touchdown.
I did. When that game was picked them, I liked the Chiefs. But 7.5 is a lot of freaking points. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers, is a lot. But I'm kind of going to stick with the Chiefs.
Stick with the Chiefs.
A lot of points. It looks like they might be, they got talent. Let's just stick with them.
All right. Jordan Love's first career start for Green Bay. He'll fill in for Aaron Rodgers.
Look what the Saints did, over a season, you sure wouldn't like something like this, but for one game, sometimes I've seen it where they just rally around.
Yeah, and we'll get to the Saints in just a second because that's a good segue. But first off, the Sunday night football game, Titans at Rams. And again, a big injury here. Derrick Henry out at least several weeks for the Titans. He's obviously the best running back in the NFL. And the Rams signed Von Miller from the Broncos, so the defense gets that much better. And this line went from 4 or 5 points to 7.5 when those two things happened.
I'll take the dog.
We'll take the dog at plus 7.5.
Again, well, I agree with you. I don't think anyone disagrees that Derrick Henry's not the best one. I don't know. I think Alvin Kamara might not be just as good as Derrick Henry.
He's different. Yeah, he's different.
Yeah, more versatile. I mean, he probably doesn't run with the power Henry does, but if I had to draft one of them, I think I'd take Kamara.
I mean, I think people think Derrick Henry eventually would break down. Injuries happen to anybody. Is this the start of his breakdown with his workload? Who knows?
I mean, that's like being a running back in the freaking NFL. I mean, it's unbelievable the punishment those guys take.
No doubt about it. And speaking of punishment, I was in the Dome on Sunday, an incredible victory for the Saints. Right after sports betting started in Louisiana. It was a great day in New Orleans. But in your eyes, was this a Pyrrhic victory to lose Jameis Winston for the season on a day you beat the Buccaneers?
Well, it's not good at all. But remember, we got Hill coming back too. Mm-hmm. And there was some competition for the job. All right. And it looks like this guy's competent. You know, he probably can, Coach Payton can use him some. You know, I'm told, and I don't know how accurate this is, but pretty knowledgeable people are not like out shopping for another quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, there are free agents out there. Cam Newton is probably the biggest name free agent out there.
Phillip Rivers, he's old as I am.
Phillip Rivers is out there.
And I don't think, just given I don't think they're going to try to trade for Deshaun Watson.
I would not think so. Especially the Texans have come out and said they're keeping him. So that's
right. But the Saints are very, some guys that have some of these issues that are really good athletes, they're not very high on that profile. And I don't blame them.
You're right about that. Well, James, we appreciate the time this week. We know it's a big weekend.
Always fun and a big week, but we're out of October and we're into November and we're returning to our September roots here.
The scary season is over and we'll get back to the fall. We wish you a good weekend and congratulations to your daughter.
Thank you. Very excited. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next week.